you had multiple family members like fall sick, like in, I think, like the same year. And I remember that
Yes.
just being like just this moment where you were like, oh, I need to change things. I want to be there, with my family, God forbid, something like that were to happen in the future. And I've also seen you just go on these amazing vacations with your family as well, and I think it's, if you're comfortable sharing more around that, I could absolutely see how just even some people I've spoken with in the last week would be so inspired to hear that story.
Yes, I'm absolutely happy to share. So, I mean, there are a few things that are coming up around this. The first is actually the timing is really interesting because I'm living it right now. For a little bit of context, I live in New York City, and there are some really great doctors here that I'm familiar with, that my sister, who also lives nearby, is familiar with. And we recently flew my dad up. He's in Texas with my mom to be able to see those doctors because we just think they're better than some of the ones we were seeing in Texas. I'll just leave it at that. And he and my mom flew up mid last week, and we were just going to do a few days, have them do the checkup, and have them fly home. But what happened was the doctor said, "Hey, I'd like to keep you for some follow-ups. Why don't you come back in about a week? And that's going to be a whole day checkup so that we can create this really great long-term plan for you." And we had to just extend the hotel, push back the flights, and be able to do all of that. And, this is actually, this was a full circle moment for me because I remember sitting there and thinking, this is why I was so motivated to start my business. So that when stuff like this happens, I've got the freedom, I've got the financial ability to be there for my parents, because they recently retired. New York is expensive. Let's leave it at that. And so, not only that, but I stayed every day last week with them, and now they're like 10 minutes drive from me. And
Oh.
so every afternoon, I'm able to go and hang out with them until the evening and just spend that time with them. And so all of that is really precious to me. And like you said, when you solve for a lot of the people you work with, at the end of the day, I think out of all the beautiful memories we've created, all of which I'm grateful for, this is the kind of stuff that just is the most important to me, honestly, for so many reasons.
That really resonates with me because just in the last, I would say, like 6 to 8 weeks or so, I immigrated my parents to the United States, and it's lifestyle, life, like lifetime milestone. And one of the underlying reasons for that is I just know that just as far as availability of specialists for anything in the United States. So, if you have the financial means to pay for it, at least you can get access to it. We are from Jamaica, and even if you've got the best specialist qualified, just availability of that person relative to the demand for their services could just limit your access to them and expand the timeline of how long it takes to get the care that you need when time is the thing that you have the least of
Yes.
in those moments.
Thank you for pointing that. Yeah, that's so key. And, I was circling around that. I didn't even realize to really point it out. So thank you for clarifying. That's exactly what was going on. My dad had this situation where it was very time sensitive. That part of the reason we had him come up to New York as well, because they're just a little bit more efficient, I feel like, up here. um, and so, the doctor fit him in, like we just talked about, within a week. And, this is one of those issues where it's related to his eyesight and glaucoma, and it's been sitting around for a while. And so the doctor was like, I really don't want to wait.
Yeah, beautiful.